Thursday, March 3rd, 2016 at 6 p.m. Mr. Bell is going to lead us in the invocation.
Gracious Heavenly Father, as we meet here tonight, we come thanking you for all the many blessings you've given to us individually and as a school system. We humbly ask forgiveness for the transgressions. We ask that you forgive us, guide us, and direct us as we make the decisions here tonight. Guide us through these. Let us be compassionate and fair in all the decisions that we make. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Next is the pledge. Mr. Davis, you want to come up and lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda, approval of agenda. So move Mr. Burnside. Second, Mr. Cottrell. Any discussion? All in favor? Final vote for the record. Presentations, Doddridge County Young Writers Winners. Superintendent Cottrell.
Okay. I think Jan's here, and we have some distinguished guests and our students who were winners of the Young Writers, and she's going to help us present those. And let me just say a couple things. I'll just stand up so you can hear me better. A lot of students have good, I don't want to say it, good vocabulary and good verbal skills. And a lot of students have good math skills. But I think, and we talk about this sometimes at superintendent conferences, if a student has good technical writing skills, that quite often separates them, you know, when you get to the upper, higher tier level occupations, because a lot of people can verbalize it and a lot of people can even maybe write sentences, but to have good technical writing skills definitely puts you in a different category. It's one of the most important things that if you have children that you need to try to emphasize. So these, and some of them, I see some familiar faces, which is good. And I'm going to allow Jan just to talk just a little bit about, you know, the process, and then her and I will bring them up, you know, different grade levels. And I want to give Mandy Bunting credit for making a real nice certificate. And then we'll award you guys, and then we'll take some pictures. And then usually what we do, once we get done recognizing everyone, like I said, we'll go in the hallway and take pictures, maybe take a short break, because we understand you guys maybe have other things to do rather than stay at the board meeting. Of course, you're welcome if you want to. So Jane, why don't you talk a little bit about the process that we normally go through, and then either we can start with the younger ones or the older ones, wherever you think we should start.
Okay. Do you want me to come up there?
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay. Typically what happens is that the teachers at each grade level will have all of the children at that grade level write something. So at the elementary school, for instance, all the first grade teachers will have all the first graders write something, and then the teachers go through and they pick the three best first graders' writings, and they are put into, they're sent to my office. And then the second grade teachers go through, they pick the three best second grade writers, and they send them to my office. So at the elementary level, I got 3 first grade writings, 3 second grade writings, 3 third grade writings, and 3 fourth grade writings. Now at the middle school and the high school, they do a little bit different, because what they do is they combine, and they put the 5th and 6th together, and they pick the 3 best out of 5th and 6th. So actually at that level, I got 3, but it was a mix of 5th and 6th. So at that level, I got 2 6th graders and 1 5th grader, because they put them together. And then at 7th and 8th, they put them together. And there wasn't anybody at 7th, I got 3 8th graders. And they did the same thing at the high school. At the high school, They put the 9th and 10th grade together, and I got 2 9th graders and a 10th grader. And the reason that they did that, because the categories that they judge them at the State Department is 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. So I don't actually have to have 3 at every level. So that was just the way that they did it. So, without any further ado,
Why don't you start in elementary if you don't care?
okay, we'll start at the 1st and 2nd grade level. And remember, we had 6 papers at that level to choose from. And our winner at the 1st and 2nd grade level was a 2nd grader, Mason Gagnon. Is Mason here? No, Mason's not here. Okay, and Mason's paper was called The Visit. And it was actually a paper about a visit to her grandma's house. And it was a really good paper. Okay, at 3rd and 4th grade level, it was Sabrina Jones. Sabrina here? Come on. Now, do you want to tell them what the name of your paper was? No. Okay. All right, the name of her paper was Why I Feel We Should Improve School Lunches. So, good job. We should improve school lunches.
I agree with that. That's popular. All the time.
Okay, at the 5th and 6th grade level, our winner was Isaiah Ash.
Isaiah, I think you won this last year, didn't you? I remember. It's like,
Okay, can you tell them what the name of your paper was?
Birthday surprise.
Birthday surprise, and what was that surprise?
Buddy Beagle.
A Buddy Beagle. Good job. Okay, at the 7th and 8th grade level, our winner was Trinity Neely. Is Trinity here? No? Okay, and her paper was titled Anything's Possible. And just so you know, what I did last year, and I'm planning to do the same thing, I will send these winning papers to the paper. And last year they printed them all, and I'm hoping they'll probably do the same thing. So hopefully you'll get to read all these papers. Anything's possible. She's not here. Okay, at the 9th and 10th grade level, 9th grade winner was Dawson Evans.
No, I think we just determined there was some kind of miscommunication because some of them weren't here, obviously, so
Okay.
apologies. We'll try to figure out how that happened.
I'm not sure if you got the message.
At what
Did you
level?
get the message? Okay, and his paper was titled Witness. Oh, that was
He'll be happy, he'll be excited.
Well, you should be excited.
I am.
Can I do a picture?
Yeah.
Okay, and at the 11th and 12th grade level, our winner was Sarah Ferguson. Is she here? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Serena. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just, I can't read. Okay, and her paper, you want to tell them what your paper was called?
It was called Together. So.
Yes, it was weird.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did your teacher tell you, or who? How did you find out
What?
that you won?
Well, the letter.
I got a letter. in the
Okay.
mail.
Okay.
I'm glad you got it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe Chad's the
We're
only
gonna
one.
have Techno Chad's post and deliver or whatever.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's it.
Congratulations.
All right, if you were a winner, we'd like to get a picture of you here out in the
Out in the
hall.
hallway.
Yes.
Oh, it's in here.
Second.
Oh, wait a minute. You want to do the other one, and then we'll just get Garrett out there also at the same time?
Oh, Garrett? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So next is Garrett Deverett, Doddridge High School student, Superintendent Coffin.
Yeah, Garrett, if you don't mind, come up and I would embarrass your mom too, but she's homesick.
Yeah.
So I only get to embarrass you and your father. He's been embarrassed by me lots of times. He was our quarterback a couple years ago. Anyways, see, a couple, right? All right. Again, I want to recognize Mandy and see what a nice certificate that she put together there. And it's very well deserved. Let me just read what it says. It says 2004, correct me if any of this stuff's wrong. 2014, 2015 LKC Scholar Athlete. That's real good. 2015, 2016 LKC Scholar Athlete. And this one, I don't know that, I think they said, Todd, that we hadn't had a Doddridge student win this one. This is a combination athletic, academic, and it occurred this season, what, fall maybe, or you remember?
Which one?
The Metro News?
Yeah, it's football.
Okay, I thought it was football season. I remember seeing the Exponent or something. But anyways, it's the 2015-16 Metro News Scholar Athlete, which is, I mean, it's all wonderful. But let me just say a few things about Greg. I've been around him, okay? And the best thing I can tell you, besides being a very, very good student, is he's a leader among his classmates. He's an excellent athlete. In fact, I've been really thrilled in watching him play basketball the last couple weeks. As you know, they're getting ready to play tomorrow. If you get a chance to go against Catholic, we enjoy beating Catholic. At home. And, you know, he's just the type of person that you know when he goes out in life, he's going to be successful because of all these qualities. And good parents too, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll get a picture of you out there also.
I'll make a motion to recess 5 minutes so they can do the picture.
I second that. All in favor?
Y'all can stay if you want to, or you can go.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Now the whole ball.
Thanks for coming. Good to see you.
See you later.
Yes, it is. You never know. Yeah, you're all the time.
Oh, I know. They've given me a lot of credit.
That's what they're supposed to do.
You got it. Right. Maybe she's just.
So you do the short straw or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Always. Yeah, always. I've been telling him that. I don't have a nice to you anymore, right? You got good news?
That's true.
I do calls and stuff like that. I found out I can actually do a lot of them behind it. I really don't.
To make it like 7 hours.
No, but I have determined if you do it 12 and a half.
Oh, yeah?
Like you really gotta stay focused. He got great news from the doctor. It took about 13 there. He's a doctor in Pittsburgh.
Drop ball one time.
So far it's good news.
What time to leave?
Just 2 melanoma spots and it's great. So far, that's better.
And he's getting out of here.
He's getting
About ready.
yeah. Well, he's He had some tests here.
Okay. That sounds good. I wasn't sure what it was. I just had heard.
Yeah, it was pretty bleak there for a while. It was a miracle that he's got as good of a report as he got.
Well, get down there. They look at it.
Yeah.
Cleveland. It's a totally different world.
They want to do a whole lot of stuff that here didn't want to do.
That's not a cheap shot. They got hot, so I'm free.
And also the zone defense that they
All right, we're back in regular session at 6:18. Next on the agenda is delegations, and there is none. Reports academic, Superintendent Crawford.
Yeah, academic, I think Gary's here. isn't he?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. I was gonna say, I know he's here somewhere.
Okay, I broke this down by schools, just some things that are going on since the last time I reported out to you guys. At the high school, they're implementing what they're calling Give Us 10, which is kind of an initiative to get students to give them 10 extra points on their standardized testing for next year. And then there'll be a little incentive program for those students that actually meet that goal. So I guess they're going to have banners up, and, they're going to just, remember to give us 10, give us 10, give us 10. So just something to keep in their mind as they're preparing for standardized testing. This was the first data collection for the achievement incentive that they started at the beginning of the last 6 weeks, which they call Bulldogs for Excellence. And those are just some percentages of students that improved 0.5 or had a 3.5 or higher GPA. So if you can read down through there and look at that, the seniors were 57%, juniors 68%, sophomores 44%, and the freshmen 52%. Which when I was talking to Dr. Kuntz, that freshmen 52%, that's pretty impressive. They're usually the ones that struggle when they transfer into the high school, but that's great. On March 28th, they will be going to the movies, taking the school-wide trip to the movies as a reward for last year's effort that the students put forth on their testing. They, the teachers and the administration felt that the students actually took it serious last year and put forth a lot more effort than they had in the past. So that's just a little something to tell the students, we appreciate what you're doing. They are starting Express Learning next week. That's half an hour a day, 3 days a week. That's targeting those skills that they found to be deficient when they broke down the data from last year's testing. Academic Success Room, Mr. Harvey, you want to address that? That's more up to you.
Yeah, I put it on my list, so I'll just cover it here.
Okay. Also, a few weeks ago, the high school sent out kind of a thank you letter and to parents for those students that met mastery on either math or reading language arts, and a small token of their appreciation was a little car magnet that said DCH honor student. So, right, that was just something we had talked about earlier this year, and they waited until now to send it out, just keep it fresh. So it wasn't really just a thank you letter. It was really a little reward for them instilling in their students high academic standards. Doddridge County Middle School, they had their student reward last Wednesday. They were supposed to, do you remember what the reward was supposed to be, Mr. Harvey, and the group canceled out on? I can't remember. Anyway, it was some organization was supposed to come in and do something, they canceled on last minute. So they had to, the teachers had to get together and come up with an in-house reward program, and they pulled it off. Kids loved it, so it went over well. Also last week, they had a school-wide math performance task, which I've never seen anything like that before, but it was highly successful. The kids actually enjoyed it, and when I was talking to Dr. Kuntz at the middle school, and she was, said it kind of, she was surprised that those kids would have enjoyed that. But me being an old math teacher, I mean, why wouldn't they be excited? It's math, so I didn't see what the big surprise was about that, but it went over well. They're also identifying students who have failed a content course that have an F in math, science, history, or social studies. Then they are going to be in a mandatory tutoring session, I think, 3 days a week, half an hour, 3 days a week. That's something new that they're trying with this new 6 weeks. They're also getting ready to set up their interim testing for preparation of state testing. That's kind of a practice test. But what's nice about that is they actually get data back from it. It's not just run through the mechanics of the test. They actually get data back so that they can analyze what the student's weaknesses are. At the elementary school, they are doing something that I thought was pretty unique. They're looking at their MAPS data, but they're not just looking at those students that are low performing. They're looking at those students that are high performing but low growth. And that's typically a population of students that gets overlooked. Because once we see that they've met that high standard, we don't really pay any attention to see if they're making any more growth. So that's pretty significant, I think. They're also developing matrices right now that they're going to use immediately in upcoming lessons. Their individual release, teacher release has started, and that's going to involve them doing peer observations, more data analysis, and what's unique about their teacher release is teachers have to go in and have a 10 or 15 minute exit conference with the principal about what they've achieved during that teacher release time. Okay, last thing, we just found out today that our after-school tutoring program at the elementary school has become a huge success, more so than I guess normal. This is my first year with this, but our attendance has increased significantly to the point that we want to look at trying to get some more help to take the overload. That's it.
Has it just been a success because of numbers, or has it been a success?
No. I think when they do their final, each grading period, the last time they did the MAPS testing, I think I brought it in. We went over. Every student had went up some, but most of them significantly. So they track that data. Yeah, the students that are in there, they're making the grades. They're improving.
Under departmental, have several.
Does anybody have anything?
Under the tutoring, is that are these the same tutors that we are having difficulty paying them?
No, these are Title I tutors. Title I, is it paid Title I?
Total different groups?
Yes.
Teachers.
Okay, but we're getting our paperwork in so we can, do we compensate these kids here? or not?
These are teachers.
These are
Oh,
teachers.
these are teachers.
Yeah,
This
they're
is
hired.
completely different. This is our after-school tutoring for Title I students.
At the elementary.
Do we still have students that do tutoring at the middle or elementary?
Mr. Zell, I think what he's talking about is the high school tutors that we use out here for this program.
Yeah, we still do that, yes.
But I mean, okay.
It's just a different program.
Yeah, it's a
yes.
different program.
Okay.
Thank you. Departmental, Mr. Harmon.
Several things to go over. Try to be brief with all these things, but there's a lot going on right now to kind of report on. First of all, just today, this is something we talked about before we got into the heart of winter, but we aerated the fields late last fall, and we put down the initial seeding actually today, even though it's snowing outside. With the forecast for the weather next week, felt like this was the right time to get that down. We'll be adding seed to the baseball field specifically on Tuesday of next week. Met with the coach briefly the other day and looked at some ruts in the field that we'll be addressing as soon as it dries up enough to safely get equipment on the field without making it worse. And then they've already purchased some seed because they got some money from the county commission as well. They've already purchased some specific seed they wanted on the infield, so they're going to focus on the infield, and then we're going to try to focus on our efforts on the outfield to again make both of those, make that grass situation a little bit better. Relationship to also down at the field, have been on the phone and worked with the DOH for the past couple days, as well as met with Denny Powell a little bit, and we now have permission to actually have a piece of equipment on the bridge to reach over and break up the debris that's caught there on the bridge. We kind of had to jump through some hoops and get the right people on the phone and them to say, hey, that's okay. The only thing we are required to do is, as soon as we do that, we're required to have the DOH bridge inspector come out, and they're required then to look at the bridge based on whether the debris hitting the bridge or whether it's having the piece of equipment on the bridge. I'm not sure which, but we have that set up. So we're looking for a date in Denny's calendar in which he can bring. He's going to bring I guess he has a rubber skidded track hoe. That way also there'll be less chance of damage to the road surface as well. And he's agreed to help us with that to get that released and get that off that bridge. So at least temporarily, it'll be better. With the new dump truck back in operation, we're continuing to do turnaround hauling. We've done 4 to 5 turnarounds this week, as well as at the elementary school, we've added another layer of gravel to the road around the back. We anticipated that gravel would probably go away pretty quickly. So we've kind of done that over spring break. We're going to do the parking lot, so there'll be no cars back there that we have to worry about. So that'll probably take care of that. Can't remember whether you knew this or not, but the core drilling, the geotech core drilling is done at the high school. The surveyors were there yesterday and today doing some of their survey measurements. Met with the mechanical engineer at the high school yesterday. We went over water entry, gas entry, also discussed where we could put the sub panel for the new addition, where would be the best location to feed from the main mechanical room. So those things were all things that were discussed and will be part of what Thrasher is putting together. Going back in history a little bit, we have finally got all the closeout documents for the DCES project, the construction project. Those have all been signed, and those are all now finalized, so that we are basically officially done with all that, and that included our asbestos-free confirmation letter. So we now have that in our build book as well as in our asbestos information. Did another walkthrough with a different contractor at the field house, looking at it a little bit differently down there, and hoping to get maybe some kind of bid from that gentleman sometime here in the future. So that's 2 weeks. So that's still on the radar. So as soon as we get a little bit more information on that, I'll bring that back to you as well. Academic success room at the high school. Stuart McMunn did donate and volunteer both the equipment, the supplies, and the labor to punch the water through from the cafeteria side into the academic success room, which what used to be the in-school suspension room. That's done. The cabinets have been ordered, and the countertop has been ordered for that. So as soon as those get here, we'll be setting that. And once that part's done, then the rest of the furniture and kind of the fun stuff can go into that academic success room. I think the students have began to see some of that happening, so there's a little bit, again, kind of a rekindled buzz about what they're going to get to do with that. And really, the numbers that kind of Mr. Oldacre went over with some of the academic success or improvement that the high school kids are making, The room's probably not going to be big enough, which is a good problem, so we'll have to do some scheduling of when kids can use it because there is a capacity on that room. Just also want to let you know that there'll be mowing bids going out to be advertised for the next 2 weeks, so as we're moving towards spring. Ms. Todd and I worked on the wording for the mowing bid, and that'll be going out. And then, of course, we'll have a bid opening and bring that to you. Also, want to talk to you about something new at the high school that we just submitted the PO for and are working on getting the license. It's called the Parchment Program. And the Parchment Program is official online transcripts that will be available for all of our high school seniors as well as all Doddridge County alumni. So instead of having to go into the school and get and request a transcript and get a paper copy and pay $3.50 and all that stuff, it is now free. So we pay a one-time fee per year of $366, and all of our high school seniors can send as many official transcripts wherever they need to send them, and then any alumni who need to use that service can come in and do that as well. So we feel like that's a really positive thing both for current students and any alumni. Also, just wanted to remind you, last thing is that our state bus inspection is on March the 8th. It was supposed to be tomorrow, but that had to be moved by the inspector. So next Tuesday, March the 8th, will be bus inspection day up at the bus garage. Any questions?
Mr. Fisher, do you have anything? Mr. Bell?
Yeah. Mowing bid.
Yeah.
Will it include no island anything?
Yes, we added that. Yes.
The gravel at the parking lot up behind the middle school, when they go to scrape that off, I know they scrape a lot of that gravel off.
Yeah.
Could we get a bid maybe on possibly paving that, and that would take care of that?
We can. Would you be, again, I know it's not action, but just, since we're just getting maybe some numbers, would it be okay to include looking at the football field hill right there?
Sure. Well, right there where the big holes are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe some maintenance and everywhere where we got holes.
Yeah.
Winter was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be some areas where we might need seal.
Well, yeah.
Seal's a lot cheaper than black one.
Okay.
There's a fellow by the name of Rick Davis, who's down in Duckworth. He used to be able to get the pavement that they chip up off the highway and use it for that. I don't know if that would work any good or not. You might talk to the Department of Highways and see if they recommend that, or whether it's just a quick fix and not going to last very long.
Okay.
I've used limestone for years on my driveway. It's kind of steep. And then recently I used asphalt shavings. No comparison. Asphalt shavings are a lot better. It might be a little bit more expensive. It just depends on where you get it. And I'm glad you mentioned checking into that, because it does work well, especially in the hot summers. If you get, like we did at the bus garage, and get it rolled down, that really turned out well. That was a good idea by Mr. Ross, doing that around the bus garage, because it saved us lots and lots of
Well, I
money.
knew Rick used to be able to get a hold of that stuff. I don't know if he still can or not, but if he can, he might be able to tell us.
Okay.
Next is consent agenda.
We got another.
Oh, I'm sorry. Charters.
Yeah, we had a good thing happen, and I'll allow Jan to throw some words in there too, because I think it was a real good experience. We received an email from the state superintendent a couple weeks back, and they were recognizing all the high schools in the state. It was called graduation rate recognition, and our graduation rate, since it was above 90%, that qualified us to go to a very nice ceremony that we'll have Jan describe here in a minute. It was last Friday, and we had a UTC, as Deborah could tell you, we had a UTC Administrative Council meeting, and so I couldn't attend, and Dr. Kuhn said no problem, and Jan said I'll go, and that's appropriate since she is involved in all that. So I think there were 47 schools recognized.
47 in the state.
Yeah, out of what we have, over 100 high
I thought they said
schools.
116.
Okay, 116. So 47 of 116. Why don't you tell them a little bit about the ceremony? I know the state superintendent, the governor, and
Yeah, the state superintendent of schools was there to, they called each school up, the representatives, and we had the governor on one side and the state superintendent of schools on the other side, and got to shake hands with them and get our picture taken, so very nice. And of course, we walked up there and they said, "Where's Mr. Kaufman? Why isn't he here?" So I said, "He was very busy today, but he sent me." So,
No, it was held at the state capitol, and
yes,
Jane come
in
back
the
and said it was
rotunda.
very well done,
Very nice ceremony.
and I appreciate you going.
Anything from comments? Mr. Bell? Thank you. Consent agenda, does anybody have anything to hold?
No, but I asked Mr. Harvey to put on the next consent agenda the bus trip to Gilbert County the other night for Pat Bus.
Yeah, I wrote that one down on my list. I tell you, it went well. We ended up taking 2, didn't we, Coach? And I can tell you, I was at the game, and wow, I think we had more people. We were definitely louder. Coach and I stood over in the corner and watched the whole game, and it was just so great having all those students there and all those adults there. And of course, when we were down 4 with 10 seconds to go, it wasn't looking real good. But what happened was we got fouled on the 3. He made 2 of them, stole the inbound pass, hit one from the corner as the clock expired and the place went bonkers. It was exciting. The pep bus was a great idea, and like Mr. Burnside said, we can add that on as a thank you gratification on the next agenda, because it was a good trip.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Five votes. Unfinished business policy, Superintendent Kaufman.
Yes, and I might even ask Faith, since I see her back there, she can make a comment maybe. We have our employee leave policy, and recently, and she's the one that works hard on our policies, it was discovered that for parents, and I don't even think step parents were in there, so we added that too. Instead of 3 days bereavement, it should have said 5 days. Did I get that right, Faith?
For mother, father, yes, it was in the 3-day category, we needed to move it to 5 days.
Right, from 3 to 5, and it was mother, father, step parents?
Step mother, step father, step children, they needed to be added there also.
Okay. Thank you for making that correction, and that's why it's on there, first reading, is to make that correction. Thanks, Faith.
So the highlighted part,
The highlighted portions are what was added, yes.
okay.
Usually what the strike-through line is
Well,
if we have to eliminate anything, right?
I seen the strike through on some of it, but then I see the
Highlighted.
highlighted. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Good, revision, I guess would be the right word, right?
This is on
Good
the
revision.
First reading, so if anybody has any concerns, just go to Superintendent Kaufman and he can deal with this call.
And of course, that'll go through 2 more readings.
Next is Superintendent's contract extension.
Mr. Evans, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I would like to move that we, since we've already talked to Mr. Kaufman, excuse me, offered him a 1-year contract with the salary to be negotiated. Second time.
Second, Mr. Burnside. Any discussion? Before we discuss it, if we're using Mr. Kaufman or his name, and we need to go into executive session, if you guys agree on that. So, is there any discussion before we go to a vote? Ms. Fee, any discussion? Mr. Bell? All in favor?
Aye.
2 ayes. All against? Aye. 3. Next on the agenda is new business, Doddridge County High School classroom, architectural contract. Superintendent Kaufman.
Next statement. say aye when he asked for the yeses? This big first time. Because I didn't know if he heard you when you said aye when he asked for the approval.
I don't think it's
I thought I heard you.
She did.
Oh, okay.
To clarify, let's go back.
Let's go back.
And just like, what do you call it, Mr. Bell, before? Hold the board. Hold the board, I'll make a clarification. So for the record, we're going to poll the board. Mr. Burnside had a concern, so before we make any new business, we're going to poll the board. That'll individually get everybody's vote. So this is Piggott. Let's go back to the motions again. The motion, Mr. Burnside, or Mr. Bell.
I made the motion to offer Mr. Kaufman a one-year contract with salary negotiable.
Was it salary negotiable?
Salary negotiable.
Salary negotiable. Now, the first one was same contract, correct?
No, she said salary to be negotiated. And he didn't say negotiable first.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Burnside, you second that? So just out of how we do things all along, we'll start with all in favor? Aye, Mr. Burnside. And then all nays, but let's go and poll it. So we'll start with you, Mrs. Piggott. Nay. Mr. Bell?
Aye.
Aye. Contra, nay. Mr. Burnside? Aye. Aye, nay. So it's a 3 nays, 2 ayes. New business, Doddridge County Classroom, gym project, architectural contract approval. Superintendent Kaufman.
Yeah, I think you guys have a copy of it, don't you? Or is this the only copy we have?
These are the 3 official copies.
Okay. Yeah, well anyways, let me just, okay, we'll pass them around now. The normal procedure is the SBA has to approve them, and they did approve the contracts because there's certain elements that have to be in there. And also, now that we have Mr. Alexander on staff, he looked over them. So if it makes the board, any more at ease, the contract's very similar to the one for the elementary project. Mr. Alexander has looked over it thoroughly, and he doesn't see a problem with the contract. The SBA's already approved the contract, so it's just a matter of whether the board, wants to approve it so that we can keep the project moving. That's really all.
Is there a money mill? Is there a money mill, we just approve the project?
Well, it's already based on the budget that was already provided.
Move.
Which was?
It's 2.8 million, right?
Yeah. There's been a motion lately after one
Discuss. Is there a second for discussion?
Second.
Second, Ms. Pig, now it's open to discussion. Go ahead, Mr. Burnside.
All right, we are approving their initial proposal, but if I remember correctly, I've heard 2 different proposals. One was 2.8 million, one 2.5 million. I'm saying this one here doesn't even say 2.5 million. So
Yeah, I think it just has their compensation on here, it looks like. The reason why I recommend it, like I said earlier, is, Mr. Alexander's looked over it and he says it's good. It looks like this one just has their compensation.
Go ahead, Mr. Burnside, you got additional questions?
yeah, because we don't know if this is a flat rate, a percentage of the whole project. We don't know if this is going to fall in line with the budget on the project, because I really don't know what I'm approving.
Understand, Mrs. Piggott, you have,
I'm kind of the same. I don't
The stuff that was submitted on the project from the SBA, they can't, change from what was submitted. And it looks to me like, and this is only the second time I've looked at it, that it just has their compensation. It doesn't have all the stuff from the whole thing. But, you know, if you all would like, you know, Matt asked if I wanted him to come, I told him I didn't think there was any need. We can have him come in and you can put it on hold if you want to.
I think we should put it on hold. I think somebody should maybe go over this.
Is the board in favor to hold this spigot?
I'd like to hold
Mr. Bell?
Yeah, he talked about a percentage.
Yes.
What was it, 15?
I would think that they would want to come and explain the contract.
We could do that.
I mean,
We can have Thrasher come down.
We already approved the architect,
Mhm.
so, you know.
Mrs. Cottrell, you want to hold it too? All right, I rescind my motion to approve it. Rescind yours. And make a motion to just put on hold, or I guess we don't need to make a motion.
We just don't take any action.
No taking, no action.
Direct superintendent or Mr. Harvey to have him come to the next board meeting.
So we'll just add this back onto the agenda for next week's. I agree. You want us to continue?
No. Well, I mean, you can if you want to, but
I don't feel
No, you
comfortable
can't.
counting on
Actually,
you.
But
we need to
we
provide.
just, this is the only copies we have in the originals.
That's correct.
Now, let me ask you this question, maybe you can answer, it, maybe you can't. This is not gonna hold up the project in any way, shape, or form, surely, is it?
Well, what we were told by
Just for the
Thrasher
next board meeting.
the other day was they were waiting for the approval of the contract to release their subcontractors to get moving. So, I mean, it will a few days.
Just till the next meeting.
Our understanding was that the biggest hurdle was the SBA going through the contract and approving. If they approved it, that means it met the criteria of the budget that was submitted and the proposed amount. If there was anything that wasn't correct with relationship to that, they would not approve it. It had to be in line with what was originally proposed.
They said it was what Thrasher submitted.
That's correct. Joyce Van Gooder said that the contract was fine with them, all the numbers were what they were supposed to be, based on what they're doing with us.
And I said that earlier. The SBA is approved.
But I mean, it's,
No, I understand.
All right, so we're going to get some additional information. Mr. Howard will be here at the next meeting.
Sure.
With the details.
Well, I mean.
Also have somebody.
You said
Thrasher.
Thrasher too, so I wrote down Thrasher. And then we can have Matt here too. No
All
problem.
right, sounds good. Finance budget supplement transfer.
None that I'm aware of.
None report from the record. Personnel resignations, Robert, Superintendent Robert, assistant track coach.
Yeah, Devin Wells, of course, that's because he's now the head track coach.
Oh,
Move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Retirements,
None that I'm aware of.
none to report. Employment cook after-school program for Doddridge County
I gotta find my employment sheet.
Middle School.
Yeah, this is, remember when we restructured, and we talked about this at a couple of board meetings, where we, know this is after-school program, but the next ones, I'll just go ahead and explain, where we had too many cafeteria managers, and that's what all the ones after the first one will be, just so you'll know. But the after-school program, cook, and you all know this person, the superintendent recommends Liz Serene. Saran, I'm sorry.
Move, Mr. Burnside.
Second.
Second, Mr. Dick. All in favor? 5-0. Cook 2, Doddridge County Middle School.
As a part of the realignment, superintendent recommends Rebecca Marple.
Move, Mrs. Cottrell. Second, Mr. Burnside. Mr. Burnside.
thank you.
All in favor? Cook 2, Doddridge County High School.
Again, we recommend Tara Smith.
Move, Mr. Burnside. Second. All in favor? 5-0. Cook driver, Doddridge County Middle School, satellite driver responsibility to all facilities.
Superintendent recommends Kim Miller.
Second. All in favor? 5-0. Slow running. Assistant track coach, Doddridge County High School, Doddridge County Middle School.
Yeah, we had to extend that because we have no applicants.
Leave request.
I didn't know we had a leave request.
None,
Okay.
other. None. Informational items up and beyond the March newsletter, Doddridge County Middle School March newsletter. Board member comments, Mrs. Bigler.
Member comments.
No comments. Mr. Bell?
Yes, I don't know how to say this. I'm kind of disappointed, no, I'm not kind of, I'm very disappointed that after the job that Mr. Copeland has done over the last 5 years, and the way the system has advanced, that we did not offer him another English contract. That's just me personally. I've been around here in the last 40 years. And we're probably in better shape now than we've ever been. And a lot of that was due to Mr. Copeland. I worked with a lot of superintendents and worked with superintendents. And he is one of the hardest working superintendents that I've worked with in that period of time. And Rick, thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Cochran?
I was just curious why we went to the commission for $200.
Yeah, the Family Resource Network puts out a publication. I think it's about 60 pages, isn't it? 55. And Jan had come to me, because they have limited resources, and it was going to cost, what, about $600 to get a print of Jan? And so what we thought, since it involved the entire community, was FRN could put in 200. We would ask the commission to put in 200, and we would put in 200. Just a good community partnership. And that way it wouldn't cost anybody very, very much money. And Jane will tell you the booklets turned out real well, and everyone was glad to work together on the project. And now when people come in and they want to know what the FRN's about, we have good booklets.
Well, there's this talk, a lot of schools went and asked for the $200. It just,
The other thing too is this booklet, they have them in all the schools, and if someone new moves in, they give them these books because it has just all kinds of information about Doddridge County. And for instance, if you need to know, like for instance, if somebody had a crisis, if their house burned down, if you need help, here it has all kinds of listings for places to go for help, or if you need this or that. I need to get you one so you can look at it, but it just has all kinds of information about Doddridge County.
I'm just
So-
curious.
And just so you understand, it was for the FRN, it wasn't the school system. We just did it, to help them out, because they have limited resources.
I was just curious.
So we give the people a good answer.
I want to echo what Mr. Bell said. I appreciate what Mr. Kaufman's done. And I will go on to make this statement. If this board is sure that we're not going to reconsider this one, then we have to move forward with getting Dr. O'Call moving. But I want us to make sure we're not going to reconsider. Dr. O'Call told us when he was here a few weeks ago that if he is employed to do a superintendent search, it will take at least 2 months. A lot of people think that we have till July 1st. We do not. They changed that. It's June 1st. And so, just all this needs to be on record that the time frame changed, and if we have to do this, then we better get on the ball.
Your recommendation, you want one on the agenda next?
Well, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to vote on it, sure, because fairly decent expense. I mean, it's not over $5,000, but it's somehow the ordinary that we're gonna be doing if, in fact, we pursue it.
Now, correct me if I heard that right. You said the new superintendent has to be on board by June 1.
Yes, sir.
Now, Rick, are you paid through June?
June 30. My
Okay,
contract is June 30.
So what we're gonna have is two
They have to be
salaries.
hired.
No, they have to be hired, the contract negotiated, and everything in place. Right, maybe I needed to reword that.
Okay.
Everything in place by June 1. Yeah, Mr. Kaufman's paid through June 30th, but everything has to be in place by June. Thank you,
This will be a
Mr.
ratification.
Clarify.
Ratification, you said on the next one. And then also, how to call,
Because we're gonna be towards the end of March, and, it'll be towards the end of May. If we're gonna be here to do this.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor?
Alvin, you see?
Invitation at the park. No, this was in
Rick,
Yeah,
you knew about Robin Jennings, right?
just found out yesterday. He was in our class and
Yeah, graduated.
and he passed away. I'm not sure why.
Heart attack.
Heart attack.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
Yeah, I heard just yesterday.
Tammy, did you ever marry?
Yeah. Married a guy, girl, and he was divorced.
Because they didn't, list his wife.
Divorced.
Good seeing you guys. I think they would have cleared out some.
I'm sorry, getting in people's way here. You're fine.
Yeah.